A top WNBA pick, Caitlyn Clark, her first pro game 10 days away, but even before she makes her pro debut, she has a major Nike deal on the line.
They said it couldn't be done. They said no WNBA player would ever see a deal like this in their lifetime.
Well, Caitlyn Clark could be breaking another record, this time with an endorsement deal. The Associated Press says Clark will soon be signing an 8-year, $28 million contract with Nike.
But Caitlyn Clark just signed a jaw-dropping $25 million Nike contract that's shattering records and sending shockwaves across the league. And the first person to be absolutely floored by the news? Sophie Cunningham. This wasn't just a casual wow moment. Her reaction was pure, unfiltered disbelief, the kind you can't fake. Because this isn't just about money. It's about power, respect, and a complete rewriting of what's possible for women's basketball. The question now is, how did one young star pull off the deal of the decade? And why is the entire WNBA buzzing about it right now? For months, whispers had been floating around. Industry insiders were hinting at something massive brewing between Caitlyn Clark and one of the world's biggest brands. But even the most optimistic predictions didn't come close to this. We're talking about a staggering $25 million endorsement deal with Nike, the kind of number that, until now, was reserved for global sports icons like LeBron James or Serena Williams. And this is...
Well, it's funny what kind of people are attracted to. You know, I'm just trying to keep the main thing. The main thing is that's basketball, trying to win games, sticking up for my teammates.
This isn't some short-term promotional contract. This is a multi-year powerhouse agreement that cements Clark not only as the face of the Indiana Fever, but as the new cornerstone of Nike's basketball empire. The package reportedly includes her own signature shoe line, national ad campaigns, and a marketing push that could make her a household name far beyond the basketball world. Think about that for a second. Her rookie WNBA salary is barely a fraction of what she'll make in a single year from this deal. The message is loud and clear.
Making it known, like if the refs aren't going to handle it, I will handle it.
Caitlyn Clark isn't just playing in the WNBA. She's redefining it. And for Nike, this isn't charity. This is an investment in a cultural phenomenon they believe can change the game and the balance sheet forever. But that's only the surface. What really sent jaws dropping was what happened the moment Sophie Cunningham heard the news. When Sophie Cunningham first caught wind of the deal, it wasn't during some carefully crafted press release or a formal Nike announcement. Word started buzzing behind the scenes, and by the time it reached her, it hit like a lightning bolt. You have to remember Sophie's been in this league long enough to know how rare life-changing endorsement deals are for women's basketball players. So when she heard Caitlyn just locked in $25 million, her face lit up with a mix of pure shock and unstoppable pride. This wasn't
Yeah, you know, I think that's just who I am. It's my personality.
This wasn't side-eye jealousy. It was a teammate, seeing another teammate break a ceiling that so many before them were told was unbreakable. And Sophie didn't keep it to herself. On a podcast appearance shortly after, she went all in, defending Caitlyn against critics who claimed she was overhyped or undeserving. She called out the haters in blunt, unfiltered language, essentially telling them they were dumb as F for not seeing what Caitlyn brings to the game. She made it crystal clear. Clark has earned every single dollar of that deal, both on the court and in the cultural impact she's created off it. And in that moment, you could tell Sophie wasn't just standing up for a teammate. She was standing up for the future of the league. But the real weight of her words only makes sense when you understand the firestorm of criticism and physical targeting Caitlyn has faced. Since stepping into the WNBA, from the moment Caitlyn Clark stepped onto a WNBA court, it was obvious she wasn't going to be treated like any other rookie. Opponents didn't just guard her, they hunted her. Hard fouls, shoulder checks, trash talk that could peel paint off the walls. Some of it was competitive fire, sure, but a lot of it felt calculated, like a coordinated effort to send a message. You're not welcome here. It didn't matter that she was breaking attendance records, shattering television ratings, and single-handedly bringing new sponsors into the league. To certain players, she was still a rookie who needed to be taught a lesson. And that's exactly where Sophie Cunningham drew the line. She wasn't going to watch her teammate get roughed up night after night without stepping in. Whether it was barking, the second Sophie's defense of Caitlyn Clark hit the airwaves, the internet went into full meltdown mode. On one side, you had an army of fans rallying behind the Fever duo, praising Sophie for finally saying what so many believed but were too afraid to voice, that Caitlyn was being targeted and that the league was letting it happen. On the other side, you had critics doubling down, accusing Clark of being overprotected, claiming her fame was built more on hype than skill. And then there was the rivalry factor. Names like Angel Reese started flooding the conversation, with every hard foul or icy handshake becoming fuel for a fan-driven civil war. Nike even stirred the pot further by plastering Caitlyn's face on massive billboards, including one in Chicago, the heart of enemy territory, right under the nose of the Sky fanbase. Social media became a daily battlefield. Every game clip was dissected, every foul slowed down, every smirk or stare blown up into a viral debate. And through all of it, Caitlyn kept her head down, letting her game do the talking, while Sophie played the role of vocal bodyguard, firing back whenever the noise got too loud. But this wasn't just about one season or one feud anymore. This was becoming a cultural conversation about the value of women's basketball and the glaring gap between what players are worth and what they're paid. For years, the biggest shadow hanging over the WNBA hasn't been the lack of talent or the quality of the game. It's been the numbers on the paycheck. The reality is harsh. Most WNBA players make between $66,000 and $250,000 a year, with the league average hovering around $102,000. Even the absolute best of the best in the league barely touch $250K in salary, less than the league minimum for a rookie in the NBA. And because of that, players are forced to pick up second jobs, spend their off-season overseas chasing higher contracts, and in some cases, risk burnout just to keep the bills paid. That's why Caitlyn Clark's Nike deal is such a massive earthquake. She's not just making more than any other WNBA player, she's earning over 100 times the rookie base salary in endorsements alone. And while the critics will say, yeah, but that's Nike money, not league money, they're missing the bigger picture. What Nike just did was set a precedent. They proved that women's basketball isn't just worth investing in, it's a market that can deliver huge returns. If one player can generate this kind of buzz, sell out arenas, and move merchandise at a record pace, then there's no reason the league can't demand more from sponsors, broadcasters, and even their own salary cap. This is why Sophie Cunningham's reaction was so raw. She's lived the grind of a WNBA veteran, where your work ethic doesn't always match your paycheck. Seeing Caitlyn land a $25 million deal isn't just a win for one player, it's a crack in the wall that's kept women's basketball boxed in for decades. And for the first time, that wall is starting to crumble. The question is, will the league take this momentum and finally push for the payday its stars deserve? Or will they let it fade like so many missed opportunities before? The truth is, what Caitlyn Clark just pulled off might be the turning point women's basketball has been waiting for. This isn't just about her becoming a millionaire overnight or Nike writing the biggest check in WNBA history, it's about the ripple effect that's already starting to spread. Other brands are watching closely, crunching the numbers, and realizing there's gold in this game if you know where to look. Ticket sales are up across the league. Jersey pre-orders for rookies are breaking records that stood untouched for decades. Broadcast ratings are finally climbing to the point where networks can't ignore them. And now that Caitlyn has proven a women's basketball player can be both a cultural icon